Play is an innate characteristic of the child. All the children play and they play remarkably alike. The play is not bounded by any caste, color, creed, nationality, etc. There was time when it was considered by the intellectuals that play is just mere wastage of time and energy, but nowadays it is considered a powerful medium for the personality development. Different people have different opinion regarding play, but whatever the meaning of play one takes, the common thing is physical activity or movement of the body as a whole in every play. Any play without physical activity is like the body without the soul. Many psychologists have given their own views regarding play. According to great psychologist Rose, play is joyful, spontaneous, and creative activity in which man finds fullest self expression. According to psychologist Crow and Crow, play can be defined as an activity in which a person engages when he is free to do what he wants to do. So we can say play is an innate tendency and universal in nature. The playful activities are done in a non serious and joyful way. The child plays with a sense of freedom, whatever he likes and for as much time as he likes. Play is also considered as spontaneous and creative activity. It creates enjoyable atmosphere. So this was something about the meaning of play. I hope you understand about the meaning of play. Now we are going to discuss various theories of play. Many psychologists have given different views in the form of theories. Some of the important theories are surplus energy theory, anticipatory theory, recreational theory, recapitulatory theory, cathartic theory, instinctive theory, play is life, psychoanalytical theory, compensatory make believe theory. First of all, we are going to discuss surplus energy theory. Surplus energy theory. This theory was originated by German philosopher Schiller. English nutritionist Herbert Spencer supported this theory. Later, this theory became famous as Schiller-Spencer theory. He explains that children have surplus energy in them because they are free from all kind of tensions. Therefore, the presence of surplus energy tends the children to play. He considers play as a healthy outlet of energy. He took an example of a steam engine. Surplus steam moves out through safety valve, otherwise engine may blast. Similarly, he said play is like the valve of the steam engine. So here criticism of the theory is this theory can be contradicted because children always like to play even when they are completely tired. It can also be contradicted in case of old people. They have less energy as compared to children, but they still have tendency to play. Next is anticipatory theory. This theory was given by Professor Carl Gross. He explained this theory in detail in his book, The Play of Man. He explained that every play of children is anticipatory in character. For example, a female child likes to play with dolls, household utensils, etc., whereas male child likes to play a role of a teacher, a policeman, etc. He described that the children anticipate their business of life which tend them to play. In other words, we can say that the play reflects our future. So, criticism of this theory is the little children are too small to think about their future. So, how do children anticipate the needs of future? This theory also fails to explain why the adult have the tendency to play. Recreational theory. According to this theory, children play to refresh themselves after doing long continuous work. Recreation is a voluntary type of activity which removes fatigue to a great extent. Whenever a child is involved in studies with serious concentration and attention, he often feels psychologically fatigued. Therefore, we can say that playful activities provide mental relaxation. So, criticism of this theory is as the children are free from all kind of tensions like social, economic, mental and physical, hence there is no question of mental fatigue. In spite of this, they play. Even the competitive games are played not for the sake of recreation. Recapitulatory theory. This theory was put forward by Professor G. Stanley. He explained that the child recapitulates the stages through which human race has passed. During play, the child exhibits racial experiences. This theory is just reverse of the anticipatory theory. Instead of anticipation, the child recapitulates some of the experiences of primitive time which his ancestors have experienced. The child likes to play the games which resembles ancestral games like hunting with bows and arrows, hide and seek, tree climbing, stone throwing, etc. So criticism of this theory cannot explain why do children play with modern toys like aeroplanes, video games, robots, sophisticated guns, etc., which were unknown to the ancestors of primitive times. This theory is not able to explain that the child involves himself in playful activities which are of his interest. He cannot recapitulate the games which he doesn't like. Now, the next is cathartic theory. This theory was given by Aristotle. The word cathartic is taken from the word catharsis, which means cleansing. According to Aristotle, play acts as a medicine which provides us the means by which our certain pent up instincts, feelings, and emotions cause tension and anxiety in our mind, which can be reduced with play. Emotional arousal like anger, fear, etc., finds expression through play. So, the criticism of this theory is this theory has been criticized because it doesn't explain why children play who have no emotional problem. This theory was also criticized because this theory explains only the psychological aspect, whereas physical effects of play don't provide opportunities for cleansing the pent up instincts and emotions. Instinctive theory. This theory was given by Professor McDougall. He explained in simple words that play is an inborn quality and is a natural tendency within us. He considered play as a general innate tendency and hence all children must play. Now, the criticism of this theory is play is a tendency but not an instinct. If it is an instinctive, then all children should have equal tendency to play, but this tendency differs from individual to individual. Next theory, play is life. This theory is based on philosophical aspect of physical education. This theory was given by John Dewey. He explained that play is a natural activity in the period of growth and development. He gave description that the play is closely bound up with growth. So the criticism of this theory fails to explain why the old people play. Compensatory make-believe theory. This theory was given by Robinson. He explained that children perform playful activity which they cannot do in actual life. For example, children who cannot drive a car in actual life plays with horn and steering only. So by the means of play, he tries to realize unfulfilled desire in imagination and make beliefs. So the criticism of this theory is all playful activities are not imaginary. So at the last, what the conclusion comes from all these theories. All these theories contain explanation of play. Every theory is not complete and has partial explanation. The play can only be explained by putting all these theories together. Thus, in the conclusion, we can say that play is anticipatory, recreational, instinctive, recapitulatory in nature.